Okay, welcome. Om Maha Shaman Dasvari Maha Shansu Lakshmi Narayana Amrutam Dara 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 Avaham Atma Shakti Avaham. So I'm just waiting for people to come on. We're going to do a reading. We're actually going to do some tarot reading on the pulse of the world. We are being played, my friends, and I think you guys know that already. Again, I'm waiting for people to get on. I might get all of, who knows how many people will get on. But hopefully we'll get some people to get on to talk about what's going on with, it looks like the world leaders are trying to pick a fucking fight. Yeah, it's obvious. World leaders are trying to pick a fight. The WW3 is being rolled off the tongue, boots on the ground, airplanes in the sky, says one idiot in the political party in the UK. So I'm going to do a reading, a tarot reading on this energy. And I'm not a fearmonger at all. Those of you who know me, follow me, know this. This will be uploaded, I can't talk, on YouTube. And I'm preparing my tarot cards on that. So let me tell you what's happening. The concept of freedom of speech is really insane right now for me. It's been insane for quite some years, actually. If you, during the Democratic reign, okay, when they started their little fuckery in Gaza, after, of course, the old excuse of October 7th, to talk shit about Kamala Biden was like, you know, you got your ass handed back to you. Similarly, it's happening now that if you talk shit about Trump, you get fired. A woman in Germany, public servant, was fired because she spoke out against what's happening to the people in Palestine. And I don't know if you're understanding, but on the first day of Ramadan, they had laid out a beautiful, triumphant celebration. You can look it up. It's quite, it actually makes you want to cry because the resilience of these people cannot be denied, though a lot of people will try to make you deny it. And why the Germans are being so fucking insane about the freedom of speech to say this geno is bad, especially when you have rabbis in all over the world who are putting their lives quite literally on the line to protest that. Meanwhile, you've got Zelensky doing his tour, his 2025 tour for billions. And I don't care if you believe in his rhetoric or not, there are no winners here. Doesn't matter. We all need to grow up as Americans, especially as not just Americans, but the British, the propaganda, the rhetoric. We better grow up. No one's infallible and no one is clean in the political parties of the power these men, mostly men, wield unfairly, unjustly, and with corruption at every fucking goose stepping towards destruction. So instead of getting triggered, this is why I'm doing these lives also on the gender wars that we're dealing with. Boy, they are throwing so much shit at us to make sure that our frequency is fucked so that we can't tear through the veneer of the false reality called 3D into 5D, into 6D, which has been promised. It is the promised land. It's been written about in various ancient texts. And yet, they want to put the fear of fucking God in us. They want to make us afraid. They want us to be combatants to each other. If you are part of the 99%, my friend, I don't give a fuck who you voted for. I don't give a shit what you think about the Oval Office. These people don't know you're alive. If you took your last breath, if you were thrown in the streets as a homeless person, there's not one person that anybody is admiring or putting on it like, I love this leader, or this leader's a leader. That's a real man. They don't care that you live or don't. The irony is that we care if you live or don't. We care if you're on the streets homeless or not. We care, us, the 99%. And out of the 99%, I'd say maybe 4% of us actually actively give a fuck what happens to you. As for the rest, they are covered over by the false holographic illusions that are like layer cakes of fog. And so it's easy to put one leader over another as a fucking hero based on a fucking tantruming of grown-ass men who should have known better. And what's really fucked, and that should make you kind of smile, is that every single one of us, that's the sad part. It's sad but good. And this is why we're going to, in 5D, we're going to have brand new types of leaders. Okay? We're not going to have the fuckery we get to saw. And if you think this was a first thing, it was probably a first thing on camera in America. But I've seen literally in Congress and other countries, and I don't mean third world, throwing shoes at each other and fucking screaming and yelling and just going apeshit, climbing over tables to threaten bodily harm. Okay? So it's not like I haven't seen shit like that go down. But it was the first time Americans got to see how ugly it is behind closed doors. And the lack of respect and the lack of diplomacy. And diplomacy, and again, it brings, I'm paraphrasing it, but Winston Churchill said it best. He said diplomacy is telling someone to go to hell and having them looking forward to the trip. Did you get that? I mean, was he a great leader? With what I've learned over the last, say, 10, 15, no, he was not a happy man, and he wasn't a very good person, fundamentally. He wasn't. So during these two major wars, we have seen leaders put on pedestals who now we're realizing were jagged, cruel, unjust. But again, history is written by the winners, isn't it? So we need to kind of draw ourselves back from the manipulation that is going on by the 1% who control their puppets, which are these leaders that you see in TV news stations, in the public eye, with their, when they're doing their little speeches that are all like pre-written, pre-fucking written to control the populace with either fear or despair. And we need to turn our backs on this energy. Quick step. Because there are images they're showing on Facebook. There's images that, like, I'll give you an example. They're showing images of animals being abused on Facebook to fucking make you angry. They're doing things on news about world affairs to make you angry. You're watching things going on with Doge that is making you angry. There are things that are being said, things that are being torn down that are there to make you angry. And anger is going to blind you, because have you ever been taught by a fighter, never fucking fight when you're angry? Never, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fuck it up. You've got to be cool, collected, objective, and you got to move, or else you're going to make a mistake that could cost you your life. So, because we understand how emotions are the very epicenter of the power to manifest, and what you have to understand about manifestation is that your emotions are going to like for fear, rage, despair, powerlessness. These things will actually manifest what you actually fucking don't want. But they are powerful emotions, just as powerful as joy, gratitude, euphoric bliss, all of that. These also are emotions very much important in manifesting what you do want. But the problem is when you're being manipulated by media, social media, and the alphabet channels, I don't care what country you're in, I don't care what religions, I don't care who you pray to. There's only one God, one universe, one source, and there's universal laws. And right now, many of these people who have been doing this for the last, 13,000 years are finally being exposed absolutely in their raw, toxic nakedness, and we get to see it front and center in ways that when you and I were soldiers, when you and I were nuns, monks, when you and I were farmers, when you and I were being hung for stealing a loaf of bread, guess what? We get to see who they are. First time ever in the human history, recorded human history. I'll correct myself. And so what we're going to do right now, because I feel so strongly about it, we're going to do a tap on the energy of the collective. That means, not you, okay? That means the 99% who are completely drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? They're being led by their nose like bulls to the slaughter, emotional slaughter, okay? Which is exactly what the 1% want. So I'm going to throw the cards, and I need you to close your eyes. Those of you who are really involved in this, those of you who want the new earth, those of you who want 5D, before we can move to that question, which is how are we doing, we're going to ask how are the rest of the 99% who believe in the bullshit, how are they doing? Are they going to prevent the growth? Okay? And I want you to think about that energy. And we're taking a pulse on the 99% who believe in everything they fucking read, everything, all the surface shit, and how are they doing? I'm being told left, so I'm going to go left. Ace of Cups, new love, new beginnings, into messages not being received with the I'm going to do it this way, with the Eight of Wands going. So fast moving energy, love coming in. Knight of Swords, very ugly energies of messages coming in. Queen of Wands, there's a feminine energy that's fighting. So there's fire. Queen of Cups upside down. Holy fuck. Queen of Cups upside down is absolute breathness, hopelessness. Queen of Wands. So there's a split in the consciousness of the energies of the populace. One is people who are ready to create new empires, and people were absolutely destroyed. And then with the Queen of Cups upside down. Queen of Wands represents usually fire energy, Aries, Sag, and Leo energy. Queen of Cups upside down anyway, or upright, is Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. And there's a shit show of emotional conflict happening. Three of Swords is an absolute broken heart. Nine of Cups is, there's some of you, Nine of Cups. Okay, this is amazing. I'm okay. The column of positivity it's almost like you're coming through in this reading. Those of you who believe in 5D, those of you who believe in New Earth. Ace of Cups, love creates everything. Queen of Wands, this fire to create a new beginning. Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, having everything. In the middle column, we have fast-moving energies, messages, Eight of Wands, speed. Queen of Cups upside down, emotionally fucked up. Ten of Swords is a collapse. I'm going to read it that way. The last column, right now, I'm going to have 4 columns. Actually 5, they're telling me 5 columns. So this represents the now of two consciousness, two polar opposites. Any questions so far? Did you guys understand what I'm saying? I want to make sure. Okay, all right, next. Knight of Swords upside down is an absolute shit show of anger and unhinged emotions that are very negative. Three of Swords is a broken heart. Nine of Wands is wounded warrior. This is like what you're fighting against. This is what people are accepting as a reality. WW3 is being rolled out of leaders' tongues like they're talking about Nike, or you just do it, man. It's like the level of disrespect to their title as leaders, because this is not something you roll around, okay? No one should be talking those kinds of words unless we're really fucking there, and we're not. We were never there close enough to get to that point. So, Knight of Swords, Three of Swords, broken heart, betrayal, Nine of Wands, wounded warrior. Okay, that's where we're at. Now I'm going to be looking at what is to come, okay? What is to come for the majority of the populace around the world. Can we change, the question I'm asking is, can we change the consciousness by just you being you? Meaning you being the complete polar opposite of the current consciousness of bending the knee to the old 3D looping bullshit of patriarchy and matriarch toxicity, and how they deal with world politics and moral issues with absolutely no fucking diplomacy. But anyway, All right. The moon is confusion, spiritual material conflict. The chariot is coming in fast. The chariot is fast moving energy, Cancer energy. Moon is 18. This is important. 18 is spiritual material conflict, which is interesting because that's exactly what's happening with us as a people. We have people like us who believe in the new earth and 5D, the way we take our next breath. And then, of course, we are second guessing. Sometimes we're scratching our heads going, am I delusional? Am I full of shit? Am I like, Mary Poppins and Peter Pan thinking that, this is going to happen, but I'm just like creating my own little world in my head because I can't handle the reality? And the answer is no. You're actually hacking out of the 3D loop that has kept you trapped incarnation after incarnation without questioning. This is not just a 3D material war. It is a spiritual war. You've heard that before, but it really is. The last card is Eight of Pentacles, and Eight of Pentacles is learning new skill sets. It's actually saying, the more I know, the less I know. Let me learn these new ways of being. So that means meditation, mantra, chanting, visualization, 369, going beyond, going down the rabbit hole of what that means. Emerald tablet, what does that mean? Going back to seeing things you saw maybe 15, 20 years ago. Like, for example, The Secret, going back, re-seeing it with your new eyes, reading your old books on manifestation, to really understand the hidden codes of how to transcend the density of 3D. Let me continue. What is the final outcome if our consciousness is clean? Five of Cups, disappointment. Five of Swords, mental conflict. The Lovers, a choice. There's a choice to be made. Tell me more. Can we win this? Can a small number of people win this over the mass hysteria? Queen of Swords, Hermit, and Page of Pentacles. Tell me more, please. Two of Wands. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. Right now we are at a crossroads and we don't know what the fuck to do, because what's happening with Queen of Swords, air energy, Gemini, Aquarius, and and Libra. This is a mental construct. This is logical thinking. This is 3D logical thinking. Hermiting 9, which is actually interesting because it's Hermit. Hermit is number 9. 9 is going within. 9 is a master number. It's going within an introspective energy. Page of Pentacles is messages of logic 3D realities into Two of Wands, which is very similar to the Lovers because it's saying, make a choice. What is the choice? I don't know what to do. And the Two of Wands is represented by a woman or a man holding the world in their hand at a crossroad moment, meaning you have the world in your hand. What do you want? What do you want? Claim it. If they claim it, if it's claimed from a place of love, like Ace of Cups was the first card we got, will they get it? Nine of Pentacles, it'll take a while. 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. Knight of Wands, some of you will have, wishy-washy energy, yo-yo minds. Yo-yo minds, meaning you will fight between the ego and the soul. You will second guess yourself and this and that. And some of us will actually keep going. So you are, let me put it this way, in between the 10 of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment, it's family, it's unity. It usually means marriage, commitment. It means a lot of things, but it means emotional fulfillment. It means I am married to someone who completely emotionally fulfills me. In this case, it means I have a partnership with the universe that emotionally fulfills me. It completes me completely. I mean, I'm a total in awe of the gifts of this life. And on one side is the Nine of Pentacles saying it'll take a while to get there. On the other side is the Knight of Wands, which is saying some of you will second guess it again and again and again, going, that's not possible. That's not logical. This can't happen. And that's a problem. So you are being asked straight away to control your monkey mind, because the only thought process that you have to control is how your mind works. And if your mind is constantly colliding against your soul, then guess what? Your mind, your monkey mind will win. It will win, because you will not be in the habit of realizing that your monkey mind is the one that is creating your reality. And it has to be your soul that creates your reality. You have to make sure that the monkey mind is going to serve the soul, not the other way around, which, to be honest, for thousands of years, you and I have had our monkey minds be served. And our souls have been muzzled, silenced, and lobotomized in their innate power. It's not a joke. So today, we have been able to globalize our spiritual understanding of what is possible and what is not. For example, now you've seen monks, I hope you have, levitate. You've seen people not eat for days, fasting for 40 days, 50 days, 60 days, hell, 100 days, more. You've seen feats of power that don't make sense. You've seen martial arts where you've got little Shaolin-like masters who are like, I don't know, 5'5", maybe 120 pounds, who literally just touch a man and uses his own power against him, and the man falls on the floor. You've seen all kinds of things that are basically mind-bending your concept of what is logical and what is real. That is extraordinary. So there was a time not long ago, 200, 300, 400 years ago, where what we knew was surrounding us in the immediacy. We had no access to books. We had no access to other conversations. And if we were in front of conversations that would actually expand our minds, those conversations were soon shut down by certain religious orders, let's be honest. So you couldn't go far in your evolution. In fact, to evolve out of the status quo of society's mores, norms, was quite often dangerous. This is why this is so important. And what they're trying to do with their inability to allow people to have freedom of speech, I don't give a shit who you voted for. You have the right to not like whoever you voted against or what have. You have a right to speak out again. You have a right to say what's happening in the Middle East is unfair. You have a right to say whatever the fuck you want to say. This is not 200, 300, 500 years ago with the Inquisitions and the Catholic Church running business and making people run for their fucking lives, quite literally, and doing horrible things to the people who they caught. They're asking me to go back to the Knights Templars, where they literally hunted those men down like dogs, who were trying to hide the secret of the Holy Grail, which was, what was the Holy Grail? Mary of Magdalena. Okay, it wasn't Da Vinci Code that brought that out, Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code. It was talked about a we're talking hundreds of years ago. Okay, and it was whispered, fearfully whispered, and some people stopped even whispering because even the energy made them afraid to talk about something that was considered blasphemous. And that was important for us to now today realize that the one thing we need to agree on is to fucking disagree and go, I don't fucking believe you voted for this piece of shit, or I don't believe you believed in this other person who lost, but I fucking will stand to my last breath to make sure that you have the right to disagree. And we are losing that right day after day. And it started with the Democratic Party as well. And I've been a Democrat since I was 18. Okay, so I'm not playing this, I'm taking blue forever, red forever. I'm not taking that shit. It's not working. What we need is 5D. We need leaders that are actually wise men and women. Wise. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're fucking 20. This idea of putting people down because they're young, or putting people down because they're old. I'm looking for fucking someone with brains, compassion, generosity, and justice in their hearts. That's it. I don't care what you went to school with. I don't care if you have an 8th grade education or a master's. I don't give a fuck. I've met both types of people in my life. I've been blessed. Some with barely any education who are more intelligent than people with PhDs, and vice versa. So we need to start looking at the content of somebody's character and not their lineage, not their bloodline, not how, where they went to school, not what color skin they are, not if they love men or women, not if they're bisexual, polyamorous, fucking homosexual, transgender. I don't care. You shouldn't either. You should not either. We are looking for good, wise people who want the best for the people that look up to them for guidance and for protection. And right now, we are bereft. We are like orphans in the wind of change. And it's really frightening. I wasn't even going to do a live today until I was scrolling through TikTok and Instagram and YouTube looking at some of the shit that's fucking going on with freedom of speech. I'm hearing people getting fired left and right because they talked against, like I said, the German woman getting fired because she's talking about what's happening in Gaza. Meanwhile, some kid talked shit about Trump and got fired. What kind of bullshit? Is that the world we want? Because I know it's not the world I want. I want a world where we can actually sit and expand muscles and go, well, what would you have done? And to me, criticizing without a fucking solution is worthless. Every human being, okay, should be taught from the age of 9. I understand you don't like this. You don't like the teacher. You don't like the curriculum. You don't like the political situation. You don't like what happened at the Oval Office. What would you have said? What would you have said? How would you have handled that? Do you understand what I'm saying? And because people aren't used to that, and they're not really, I don't know what happened. I mean, have we been all fucking lobotomized across the world? I don't know. But I do know this, that many of us are still standing up saying that you have a right to fucking believe. I may not agree with, trust me, I probably won't agree with you. But I'm definitely not going to bully you or put you down or shame you or chase you down the street or fire you. That is the last thing I'd want. Because at that point, we're going down some dangerous, dark, one-way streets that you can't come out of once you're there. Okay? So at the end of the day, you have to decide what you want, right? This gender war is by design. Men talking shit, oh, I like that she has no IQ. Men, shut the fuck up. You better want a woman that's going to stand by your side because she will be the fucking reason why you still thrive. Women, shut the fuck up because you need a man who's a good man, who's got power, who's going to love you and protect you and defend your honor and to his death. We need to stop. We need to realize that there are men that are going for certain things that are making us in shock. Like we're like, what the fuck? You're going to want a robot over a real woman? And my whole attitude with that has been, go. Please, we're culling the fools, the weak men that are the dangerous men. You don't want a weak man. So yeah, let him get his little Model 122 Stepford wide. Please, go get her, enjoy, marry her, have babies, plastic babies, whatever. Meanwhile, women, not all men are assholes. They're not. Men, not all women are out to get your money. Not all women are assholes. And you need to step away individually into your own cave of self-alignment and self-realization and realize, where did I learn this? Where did this come from? Was it the dynamics of my parents? They were fighting. Was that it? They were divorcing. My father was cheating. My mother was cheating. What was going on? Where did I learn to hate the opposite gender? Where did it begin? This is the work that we women, many of us as women, are doing, and many divine masculines are also doing to honor themselves, to rebalance themselves. I was telling a friend of mine, a divine masculine, Water Bear Medicine, who you'll hear talk on a live on Thursday at around 1:00 Eastern time. I'm going to start doing that once a week with my son and him because I need men and women to hear how the opposite genders, same genders, are handling their journey to self-realization, okay? But I was telling him I needed I said to him, I'm watching 300, the movie on Sparta, right? And he started chuckling. I go, you know why I'm watching this? Because I need a little fucking dose of when men and women were fucking honoring. I don't care if it's mythology. I don't care if it's a fairy tale. For right now, I need a dose of seeing examples of when a man and woman stand side by side like powerhouses. And he understood. He totally fucking understood because he saw that I needed that example. When I see couples, and there was something else that was, the toxicity of men and women is unmatched. When they're toxic, it's fine. I'll give you an example. So I have a client who's, thank God it's not a twin flame. Thank fucking God. But he was in a relationship with a married woman. She was cheating on her husband. He was saying that she contacted him they broke up, blah, 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 because he said, look, I can't be with you anymore. I don't want to be with a married woman. Make a decision, come with me, be with me, let's start a life, or, I can't do this anymore. He was honorable about that. So she texted him back at some point, like months later, saying, yeah, I saw pictures of you and your daughter. The kid's fucking 10. I saw you with your daughter and it looks like you moved on with your life, and I got really upset and I was really jealous. Jealous of a man having a beautiful, sweet, fatherly, probably the one thing that every girl needs is a good relationship with her father. Because usually, if that is not a good relationship, women have to fucking heal that. Because the most important man in their life, and in your case, my masculine brothers, the most important woman in your life, your mother, if that wasn't fucking somewhat healthy or balanced, you're kind of fucked, and you need to work on that. You need to like literally go back and reset yourself back to zero for your own self, in your own sense of rebalancing yourself and purging a lot of toxic programming and things that were not your fault at all. That goes for men and women. Okay, so anyway, so she makes that comment. And I'm like, wait, hang on. Did you just tell me that a grown-ass fucking woman in her 40s is jealous of a 10-year-old? That you're taking pictures of you and your daughter having a great time at the park, hiking, this and that, and she's jealous? Did I get that? Yes, I had heard him correctly. So ladies, don't think we walk on water as women. That was some toxic ass shit. Because I don't care if a woman separates herself from a man. If she's seeing him having a good time with one of his kids, boy, daughter, I don't give a fuck. She should be happy for him. And I'm going to tell you something else about twin flames that I adore. Real twin flames. And I'll tell you this. Something I know. Twin flame feminines will see their twin flame masculine in a relationship with another woman. Typically, it could be a karmic, and that's when they're sad. They're not jealous. They're sad because they know he's in bad hands. It's going to be ugly, right? And they're right. Or if actually the opposite happens and the twin flame feminine sees that her twin flame masculine is with a high-level soulmate, divine feminine, most of them will say, well, he's learning a lot. I'm seeing he's happy. I'm seeing that he's happier than he's ever been. It hurts me. I wish I was the one. But you know what? I'm happy he's in good hands. It's almost like King Solomon with the baby. I don't know if you know the story, but look it up. And the baby and the two mothers who claim to be mothers. This unconditional love, this understanding that this is where we need to be, not just for each other as lovers. This is why twin flames are such an interesting spiritual experiment, if you will, on how we ascend our jealousies or a competition. Because what I see with these twin flames is when you now expand that accordion outward, not from a man and a woman or same gender who are twin flames or twin rays, expand it out to the entire world. You voted for him. I hate you for voting for him. And you turn it to, I don't understand why you voted for him or her or this or that. But you know what? I still love you, baby. We need to go to that. We need to be able to disagree with civility, with compassion, with generosity, with, listen, I really don't get this. And it's triggering me. Let's talk about something else. But you know what? I do want to come back, like in a couple days and see if we could like generate a new conversation, because right now I'm triggered and I don't want us to have a fight. But I do want to understand where you're coming from. I do want to understand why you're saying these things. But right now, I don't know why I'm getting heated, and I don't want to have... Why can't we talk like that to each other? Aren't we grown? Don't we want to communicate with each other? Don't we want to understand why people think the way they think? It's funny. There was a guy, triple K, triple K. In the 70s, there was a triple K. I remember it was late 70s, early 80s, something like that. And I read it, I think it was an article or 60 Minutes. I forgot what it was, but I remember the basic story. And he ended up marrying an African-American woman and having kids. And he just did a 180. Because one day, his heart wasn't into it anymore. He wanted to figure out, why do I feel this way? Who taught me that? Well, he knew who taught him. It was his family. Why do these people that I have considered my family and safe people, why do they believe that? Is this true? And he went out and did his research. He literally moved out of the town he lived in. And in that, he realized it was all wrong, all lies, all propaganda, all bullshit. And he ended up literally, it was probably a twin, I'm not joking, a twin flame. And he fell in love with this woman, and he was so shocked at how he had once been that angry young man who believed in the bullshit. People can change. People can come out being functioning alcoholics, rabid H addicts, homeless, and fucking do a 180 that shocks the shit out of you. People can change. Old dogs can learn new tricks. They really can. And the way they can is when they want to change, when they want to ask questions, when they want to improve themselves, and they want to. So don't think having these conversations with your parents or whatever is worthless. It's not. There are, however, people out there who are parents, obviously, who actually, they're so defensive, okay? And that is a reality. They're so defensive. They don't want to know your point of view. They actually don't want to know your point of view. And have you noticed that we have leaders right now, we are paying them a generous fucking levels of money that is unhinged, because not only are they making their salaries, my friends, but they're making deals under the table into the millions, billions, maybe even trillions. And they can't fucking agree to disagree with civility. None of them can. I'm seeing a lot of backstabbing happening right now. I'm seeing a lot of second double talk. I'm seeing two-faced fucking deals happening with world leaders. I don't know if you're noticing, but I am. And the reason why I'm paying attention, so I can report back to you. So I can say, this is what's happening through my eyes. What do you think? What do you see? How do you feel? And what are you going to do about it? Are you going to go out and protest? Or are you going to actually sit in a meditation and visualize for an hour the new earth? Because I'm going to tell you something. What do you think is going to win? The protest or the massive movement of you controlling your monkey mind and meditating for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour on the new earth, how it feels, how good you feel in that world, in that reality, in this new infrastructure of fluidity and generosity and justice. And I know that that is a better choice, because the 1% have been looking, the alphabet agencies in our country and in other countries have been studying how the human brain works and how consciousness can be manipulated against itself and to create egregores. So it's not like I'm talking out of my ass, because some of the top agencies on the planet have been studying this for fucking years. Psychic energy, remote viewing. Look it up. I don't want to say too much because I'm actually talking in some level of code, but you should actually know what I'm talking about. So that's where you're at, my friend. You've got to make decisions. So don't feel bereft. Don't let your power be diluted by fear, anger, impotence. Don't do that. Don't lobotomize yourself with distractions of shopping and sex and sexting and gambling and drug and whatever the hell you're doing to fucking soften the edges. Try to sit in a meditation. Try to write in your journal. Write a letter to the universe. This is the world I live in. I'm so grateful. And what does that world look like? You're not 12. You're not writing a fairy tale. But if more of us, imagine 500 million of us actually wrote this, staggering every hour, one person on the planet was, and then another person, you're falling asleep and someone else wakes up writing that kind of letter to the universe. Do you know what would happen in this planet? You know what would happen? A complete fucking shift of realities would happen. They have used, as a matter of fact, watch the movie Citizen Kane, which Orson Welles wrote and directed, where he was blackballed. I think he was 26 or 27 when he made it. I guess no one fucking paid attention to what he was saying in the script. Let me just say, it was about William Hearst I, starting wars in South America and in parts of Europe to sell newspapers. That's what it was about. That's what Citizen Kane is about. And that got him blackballed. Did you know that? Do you know that's why? It's not just because it's one of the great cinematic, groundbreaking movies because of what Orson Welles did with camera angles and, putting holes in floors to have different angles that filmmakers had never seen before in the 1930s and 40s. It wasn't that. It was that, talking about the truth of William Hearst, San Francisco Chronicle, Examiner, and other papers across the country. All right? That's what it was about. So they have been fucking with us for a long, long time. Okay? Look up Orson Welles. Look up his life. Look at how they destroyed that man. He did some groundbreaking shit. If you can find a documentary on a biography on Orson Welles from the time he's a child, sit down and watch it. We've had starseeds born trying to bang the drum of truth for a long, 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 long time. My twin was one of them. My father was another. I'm one. And definitely my son is that guy. So there are a lot of people coming through at different staggered timelines. Not every boomer is an asshole, to be honest. Not every Gen Xer is smart and cutting edge and, thinking outside the lines of what they've been brainwashed to do. Don't forget, public education is what the average person gets. And in that is a lot of brainwashing, a lot of dogmatic shit enforced. So, it's your choice. You're either going to be part of the movement of fear, doubt, anger, impotent rage, which is going to create an egregore towards the Mad Max that you don't want to be in. The 3D. You have to make a choice. I'm going to make another reading real quick. And I'm going to ask the question. Another beautiful background image for my phone. Hey, how are you? So most movies in that genre stem from him. Oh, that's very cool. Very cool, Phoenix. I loved Orson Welles. But they had him doing fucking magic tricks to make a living. He was doing the movie Othello. He loved Shakespeare. And he did a Hamlet in Shakespeare right before he got the gig to do Citizen Kane. And he had everyone dressed in normal street clothes of the time, right, in Harlem. All the actors were black, and he did Hamlet. And he was the Wonder Boy of America, believe it or not. Then he did H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, which is infamous and famous. Look that up. And then he did Citizen Kane, and it just went to shit. It was really sad. So the energy that I'm calling on, and I need your help, is: are we crossing into 5D? Those of us who believe, those of us who are the Harry Potters of this, and the reason I'm showing you Harry Potter, I'm sharing that. If you guys ever remember the first time Harry Potter goes to 9 3/4 platform, do you remember the first time Harry Potter goes to 9 3/4 platform? Do you remember when he's hitting the wall and he has to kind of relax to literally travel through dimensions, through portals? Do you remember that? And the first time he basically, it's like he's hitting the wall, and then finally he sees the other kids doing it with ease, and then finally he breathes in and he's able to flow in through the portals. That's what we're dealing with. It's not like we're not getting clues as to how to do this shit. Oh, well, that's really magical. Yes, it is. We live in a magical reality based on our dense understanding, and we have been programmed for so many, what David Icke calls loosed reincarnation, that are keeping us in Europe. And you may hear people say prison planet. It's not. Your brain is a prison. The planet's fine. If you believe you need to keep coming back again and again, you will. This is one of the gifts I gave my mother and my twin when they were dying. I said, don't fucking come back. Whatever you do, beam love, lots and lots of love. Just be in love. Just literally fill your entire being with love. These were conversations that went on and on and on into the last breath, because if you're in the consciousness of love, you will fucking be catapulted to the matching frequency of that intention, focus, and feelings that you're emanating. Does that make sense? You don't have to be, this is what's making me crazy with this concept of being afraid of death. Oh, don't go to the light. Don't do this. Don't do, no, dude, no, practice in your meditation. Be in love. Feel your heart pulsing. Feel the magic of 5D. Feel all of your past lives. Feel what it was like to be on other planets. Remember who you are. Remember where you came from. Where did you come from? Oh, I'm from Pleiades. Then feel it. How did I feel to be there? Go back there. But go back there in the present tense. Meaning, remember where you were doing when you were Pleiadian, a Lyran, or whatever the fuck you were, an Andromedan. What did it feel like? Feel it again. And then expand it to the present tense. That's it. And now you're going to drop your 3D humanoid body. It's not like you haven't died before. Hello. You're an expert. But now you're an expert at looshing back into these incarnations. And you're going to let it go. You're going to pulse this love so that you're rubber banded to the frequency match. And if something is nefarious, it is not a frequency match to love. It's impossible. I remember when I was reading this article, which I lost over the years, but it was an article, it was just a one-pager of a man talking about the fact that we didn't have to fucking incarnate ever again. It was in 2016. And I remember sitting there talking to my twin saying, I know there's a way out. I just fucking know it. I've been feeling this for a long time. And look at this article. And we discussed it. And I said, what do you think? He said, nah, I don't know. Because he also was under the dogmatic belief system of Ishkan, which is Krishna, which is you're looping again and again and again. As soon as you die, you go into another body. Life review, back in a body again and again and again, which is bullshit. And I knew it in 2016. And I started researching it. And I started finding little bits and clues here and there, but I felt it deep in my bones like you feel it in your bones. You feel it in your blood. Beyond that. And you know. And you're trying to figure out how to get out. But do you understand that some of these fucking assholes that are telling you this aren't telling you how to do it? They're just making you afraid. Don't go to the light. Just go where? How am I so... You're freaking me the fuck out. You're telling me that if I go to the light, I'm going to fuck up and loosh back. Instead of telling me to just practice this shit while I'm alive. What does it feel like to be in love? What does it feel like to be loved? What does it feel like to love? What does it feel like to create a new world? Well, you've done it before. How do you know? Read Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. Destiny of Souls by Michael Newton. Read those books. Other planets, other realms. Read Those Who Remember. Matias de Stefano. Read. Listen. Search. If you are in a match frequency of fear, you're fucked, my friend. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to the light. Yeah, but you're afraid now. You're afraid. Oh, I'm backing away from the light. I don't want to go. They're coming to get... You will be loosed into that whether you like it or not. Well, you resist, persist. So what you have to do is practice. And this is something that the very good masters of spirituality have talked about. Practice dying. I've heard this before. If you haven't, then let me tell you, this is not a new concept. This is very ancient. I never really understood it until recently, where I realized that that's part of my meditation. To practice surrender, to practice bliss, to control my monkey mind, my consciousness. So even if I drop my body in this, I have done such a practice that it will be second nature. I will lock and load into that default conscious shift into pure bliss and love, and I'm not going to go anywhere but in the right direction of source energy. With the right light beings, with the right galactic council, not some fucking AI, astral AI, as David Icke puts it. A lot of the shit you're hearing, David Icke was writing about that and has been talking about that for years, decades, but they're not giving credit so that you could actually get to the source, read the fucking book from beginning to end and go, oh yeah, got it. That's important. When you have people giving you knowledge and they don't tell you where they got it, that's a fucking red flag, my friend. That is not okay. There's a chick right now, gorgeous girl, gorgeous. who's doing these incredible 3-minute videos. I think her name is Emmy. I've actually sent her link to certain people in my groups because she's fantastic. And guess what? She fucking sources all her shit. You will open up memo or tab or whatever, and there it is. Boom. She'll actually break down all the links, the books, the this, the that, where she learned what she learned. Real teachers teach you where they taught it, where they were taught it, this information. They teach you, and then we'll say, giving credit to blah, 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 David Icke, or giving credit to Ruth Montgomery. Ruth Montgomery wrote about walk-ins. I'll tell you the book right now. She died in the, she was around in the 1950s. She wrote a book called Strangers Among Us about walk-ins. Where did I first read about walk-ins? Rampati Lapsang, who was a walk-in. And then when I read her book when I was like 14, 15 years old, Strangers Among Us, I went, holy shit. Okay? So we're not cutting edge anything. These people were starseeds coming into this planet to lay down some truth. She was a channeler, by the way, on the side note. And she wrote about it. Why is this important? Because when you want to refine your knowledge, you want to refine it to such a level that there are no holes in your monkey mind. Because the minute you have a hole in your story, in your downloads, and there's a hole where a little rat, a little monkey mind can actually tear up this idea of your new reality and expose your fear, because now you can't answer that question to yourself because you're like, I never thought of that. You never thought of that because you're getting incomplete information. Because if you read books from beginning to end, and if a book, like, for example, Journey of Souls, I read it 5 times. Back to back to back to back. Brainwashing myself. Then into my meditation going, oh, yes, hello. Getting my own downloads. Refining it even further for myself. Hence the purpose of meditations. And mantras. To shut up your monkey mind, and breathing exercise to shut the monkey mind down so that you can get those downloads. And also discern the difference between a corrupted download and a real download, a pure download. And you develop heart discernment, meaning your heart chakra says, oh yeah, that doesn't feel right. Oh yeah, but that feels good. And I feel nothing. Nothing. Okay, well, neutral point. Let's continue. And I talk about these things again and again and again because you need to expand yourself. And the worst thing you can do is avoid the very things you fear. So if death scares the fuck out of you, you better sit with that every day on the daily. On the daily. Everyone's afraid of death. Everyone. It's not so much death they're afraid of, it's the pain of it. They're afraid of being in pain. Will it hurt? Will it last a long time? Will I be diseased? Will I die of lung cancer where it takes fucking months for me to go? Brain cancer, whatever, right? Will it be immediate? Will it be good? Will it be fast? Will I, oh my God, I hope I pass away in my sleep, right? It's not death so much as pain. And that's normal. It's normal. But you should be like a mother pushing out a child into the world and realize that just like death, I push out a life into the world. I'm in massive fucking pain. They're not going to give me an epidural. I'm not taking one because I'm doing natural childbirth or they're doing C-section and I have to. The point is I'm in massive fucking pain, but it makes sense because I'm about to birth a new life. When you die, you're birthing a new self, or your true self rather. And that's extraordinary. So even if there was pain, there's purpose to that pain, no matter how you slice it. And that consciousness has to be part of your normal. Hang on for a quick second. For some reason, it's coined death, or is there another term? I agree either way. Thank you, my love, with you. Yes. Matthias is amazing. He is amazing. Some are in 5D consciousness. 9 3/4, everyone raises their wands. I know. Okay, let me read it. I don't know if you are aware, in September, a European train station, everyone joins in, they call out. Oh, that's interesting. If anyone is familiar with I Love Lucy, he did a scene with her on Shakespeare. Oh my God, did he really? Boy, I watch a lot of I Love Lucy's, and I never saw Orson Welles on one of those. I gotta look that up on YouTube. Holy shit, that's really cool. But anyway, any questions or comments? Thank you, Phoenix, for adding to the conversation. I really appreciate it. Any questions or comments? So we're gonna ask the question. I went on and on a tangent. But I believe you. I'm gonna look it up. I bet it was hilarious. He was a clever man. And he was a loving man. He had a crush on Eartha Kitt. And Eartha talked about how he bit her. And she was like, what the fuck are you doing, right? Why are you biting me? And he was just like, you're just so delicious. Anyway, so let's go ahead and ask if we are on the right path on this ascension, okay? Let's look. Yeah, he did. He did. He bit her. I never forgot that because I was so insane. All right, so I'm going to go with the cards. Are we on the right path for this ascension? The Two of Cups, partnerships with our souls and our ego. Six of Pentacles, try to balance the give and take. An opportunity for cups is going to be refused for some of you. And it is not easy to pay your bills, to deal with daily bullshit, and still keep going into the ascension. Look, I'm not saying it's easy. Trust me, I'm not. But we have to keep going, okay? We cannot stop, okay? Tell me more. Are we on the right track? What's happening? So right now, in the recent past, I'd say that we have the partnership. We are learning how to balance ourselves out. There are some of us who are not seeing the opportunities for what they are. It could be that you have moments of sabotage or moments of apathy, which is normal. Eight of Pentacles is learning new things. Hang on for a quick second. They're asking me to do this bloody puzzle. I didn't even realize I was on this long. Hang on, okay, let's see. Oh, bloody hell, I hate these fucking puzzles. Hang on. Oh my God, hang on. Okay, let me do this because it's taking too long. I don't know why they make us do this. This is so ridiculous. All right, so in the absolute now, we need to do the Eight of Pentacles, which is learning new skill sets. Four of Swords, we need to do the Eight of Pentacles, which is learning new skill sets. Four of Swords, we need to heal. Four of Swords it's a pain. I have a broken heart. But I'm healing from that. It's making me sick. I need to take time. I need to just step away from the world. Because what is happening is I thought the world was a certain way, and I'm realizing it wasn't. I've been lied to since the day I was born. I've been lied to in probably 1,000 incarnations. That's not easy to take. And I need some time. Four of Swords. Four of Swords, I need some time. Tell me more. Nine of Swords, anxiety. Will I ever get out? See, the more you're hearing people saying to you, oh, it's a prison planet, don't go to the light, shit like that, it's fucking creating anxiety. You may not have overt anxiety, meaning, where you're literally not, you're sleeping or whatever, but it is a subtle undercurrent of what happens if I die? Will I be able to die? Will I be able to go to the right place? Am I going to fuck up? And am I going to loop back and have amnesia again? Don't have panic attacks over this. I'm not being funny. I mean it. Okay, tell me more. What is going to happen in the future? Six of Wands, conquering hero. Fantastic. Tell me more. Four of Pentacles, holding on to bullshit. Into nine of Pentacles. That is fucking perfect. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Six of Wands is I've won all the battles. I've won the war. I come in as a fucking conqueror. I own this. I know this. Into Four of Pentacles. That's your challenge. Holding on to material bullshit. Miserly energy. I can't let go of my mom. What if my mom doesn't cross over? What if I'm wrong? What if... In other words, there's a lot of what ifs, and honestly, trust the process. Into Nine of Pentacles, it's represented by a woman with a hawk on her fist, and she is so abundant that she's able to not only have her own money, or it could be him, and she can actually help other people. In the material world, it means once you've won these battles and the ultimate war, let go of bullshit. Four of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Because once you let go of bullshit, your avarice, your idea, or your fear, you can't let go because you're either avarice or fear. Right? that you're going to lose something big in the material world, or that you're going to lose your mind, or you're going to lose your fucking idea of what is real, or whatever the hell it is. The Nine of Pentacles is somebody who has conquered the material world and is saying, I can help other people. I'm good. I'm badass. I got this. And that's massive. Tell me more. Anything else? I'm going to get another deck. Tell me more. Anything else on the Four of Pentacles? High Priestess, the world, and you cycle into the Fool. You can't fucking make it. It's fucking brilliant reading. And I'm glad it's for you. Because Four of Pentacles is miserly, little man, Ebenezer Scrooge, Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Scrooge. I need my little coins, my gold coins. I need my shit. I need to, you know who it's going to attack? Billionaires. It's going to attack multimillionaires and millionaires who don't want the system to change. No shit. They're sitting on a pile of shit and they're crowing, right? But people also who are the little people, meaning the 99%, the working class, they're going to be so, oh my God, what if Jesus is, or whatever the fuck they think it is that's going to save them. They're going into a very small-minded, dogmatic belief system, and they're holding on to it. Four of Pentacles. Here comes the High Priestess saying, get into your spiritual fucking mojo. Expand your mind beyond this earthly plane, is what it's saying. Let the downloads roll. The world, a new cycle, 21. We're moving out. We've done 21 fucking cycles of the major arcana, and we're fucking getting the fuck out of here. Boom, into the zero, into the Fool. A brand new life, a brand new reality. So the world represents, I'm going from chapter 9 to chapter 10, and chapter 10 is the last chapter in the book. The Fool means new book, blank pages. What do I want to do? That's what it means. And it can only happen if you go into your inner landscape. And the first guardian, the first bulldog you're dealing with is your monkey mind. Your monkey mind is a fucking parasitical, toxic energy. And it needs to learn how to be a servant to your soul. Your soul is millions, trillions of years old. It knows more than this little monkey mind that's been kicking rocks for maybe at most, I'm just going to make it up, 2,000 years of your incarnations. Or maybe just this incarnation, just this one. And every time you take on a new body, it's a new monkey mind type of personality, facets of, and you imbue some of your energies into that vessel, that 3D brain. It's kind of like molding the shoe to your foot, right? And tailoring a suit to your body, right? And moving out of this idea that this is all I'll ever be. And this is why when you read Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, this is why I call it the Bible for the soul. The first chapter, the first pages, who are you? Well, my name is Mary. Yeah, well, you're Mary. But what is Mary? Who are you really? Well, I'm a woman. Well, okay. I'm a white woman. Really? Is that all you are? Well, I'm 33 years old and I'm a professor at a university. Is that all you are? What are you? And he tears down the veneer of these personalities you take on, no different than taking on a screenplay. Playing Pretty Woman or Harry Potter. Or Aaron Brockovich playing a role. Well, you're going to be born in this family, an Irish family, and you're going to deal with the troubles, and you're going to be doing this and that, and you will meet your twin flame when you're in your late 30s, early 40s, or you're going to be biracial, and you're going to be born in this country, and you're going to be... Do you get what I'm saying? It's a fucking play. It's a role. This is why remembering your past life is the most important thing when I do Akashic readings for people or hypnotherapy. You know why they're important? Because it fucking destroys your idea that all you are right now, Sally, Lucy, Daniel, Jerry, Eric, that's all you've ever been or ever will be. It literally fucking tears down those veils of separation from your own self. Because once you tear down those veils of your separation from your own self, you look in the mirror going, you go beyond what you see. You're no longer a white man, a black man, an Asian woman, an Asian man. I'm not going to go on, okay? You get the list. A gay man, a transgender man, a woman. No. And the reason why most of us have never felt good in our skin is because time after time we remembered that this was not our true nature, these bodies. And that these environments of dogma and bullshit and suppression and oppression and cruelty and injustice was completely a 180 from what we remembered as starseeds on other planet, where these great high qualities were normal. And so we never felt good in our skin in these never. The sign of a star, you never feel good here. You never felt good here. The minute you were consciously aware of yourself as a 3, 4, 5-year-old, you knew this was all wrong. That's starseed fucking symptom, okay? Right off the bat. And you wanted to find a way to get the fuck out of here. And you couldn't remember why you were here. You might have remembered why you were incarnated. In other words, the moment where you chose these bodies, these parents, this lineage, this bloodline. That's why I get very irritated when people go, well, I'm pure this, and I'm Polish, and I'm Egyptian, and you can't tell me about it. It's like, dude, I was Egyptian before you fucking knew the word. The irreverence that you will have once you realize that you've been all races, all sexes, you've done, sadly, you've done shit that you trust me, you don't want to fucking remember. You've done that too. But you're not that person anymore. And so the purpose of remembering past lives is for you to stop limiting yourself to saying, I'm Doris Day and I'm 62 and my life is over. No, that's just one life, one of a grain of sand. Go to the beach in Malibu and these grain of sands will not even encompass the truth of the incarnation, the numbers of incarnations you've had. On this planet, on other planets, in other dimensions. Basta. Now what? Oh, fuck. Yeah. There you go. You're not limited, are you? And the funny thing is that we really do cling to these personalities. Trust me, I know. I'm dealing with that fucking reality too. Trust, I'm not walking on water. I'm not going, oh my, but then I look back and I go, what? Fuck, I mean, I'm this woman, okay, and I've been this woman and it's fun, and I've been this man and the other. In other words, I go back to other past lives with my twin, without my twin, with high-level soulmates, and I remember this, that, and the other, and I'm like, holy shit. And yet, for now, this life is an important life, but when I drop it, it'll be as inconsequential as packing up old clothes. When clothes that I wore when I was 14 years old, they no longer fit. It's not even the style anymore. I just pack them up in a box and take them to the fucking Salvation Army for someone else to wear them. That's how important they are. This personality, this body, I embody. That's where we need to get. Because as long as we're talking shit about misappropriating culture and you can't wear your makeup like that, and you can't look like, wear these clothes, do this, do that, because that's my culture, not culture, and you're fucking disrespecting my culture. Once we understand that, not to insult any culture, but to not own it to the place of dogma that prevents other people who have been there. I remember I had friends who said, oh, you know, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you, I have such a connection with France, and I know you're French and blah, blah. I'm half French, by the way. And all of that. And I'd say, no, you've been French before. That's why you feel such a connection to it. Of course. Well, how do you feel about me saying this and that? But I'm like, say whatever the fuck you want. You were probably there with me. Maybe we knew each other. Maybe I was Italian, you were French, and we met, and I was a guest in your country, and your country was France 2, 3, 4, 500 years ago. Or Polynesian. This is where we need to get as a people. I remember my husband, who's a high-level soulmate, telling me, okay, that he was fascinated with samurais. Fascinated. Before connecting with, this was in the late 60s, early 70s. And he said, I remember when I got to be 14 and I was sad because I knew that I could no longer fit into the samurai, because he was 6'2". And by the time he was 14, he was about 5'10", 5'11". And he said, and I knew I could never fit in that outfit anymore. It was like a part of me I was grieving a part of me I remembered from a past life when I was a samurai. How can people not understand that? That we will feel connected to certain cultures and races and people and roles we played. That an African American man could go to Sweden and feel completely connected to a Viking helmet and go, I fucking remember that feeling. Why can't we allow that to be a truth that we normalize as, yeah, man, what else do you remember? What do you remember? I don't know, man. There's raids and the fucking fierce, the ocean, the fucking, yeah. Great. Why do we have to laugh at that? I'm like, that's just so illogical. How could you, like, we're going to always incarnate as white people, black people, red people, blue people, purple people. I mean, come on. We don't. I have people who are so, even in the New Age, saying, I always incarnate in my lineage. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. Because you're much more expansive. Do the elite 1% nuts do that, think that? They have rituals and shit that they do. And does it work? I fucking don't know. I think some of it does. I think some of it fails. It's a bad joke. But is the intent there? Is that where they come from? Is this idea that we always come back to lineage? Yeah, that's the 1% toxic mindset of I will never be part of the 99%. I will always incarnate into my kind. And that's, does it happen? Like I said, once in a while? I'm sure it does here and there, but I don't think it's a fucking fail-safe plan. Because negative energy is negative energy. And eventually, karmically, you will be pulled to, what you persist. What you resist persists. Eventually, you will be born into a poor fucking family somewhere in El Salvador or Colombia or in the streets of fucking London. Poor. Broke. So, like I said, it's about really looking at yourself on it's like peeling the onion. And as you peel an onion, you fucking cry. Because you're unraveling the mysteries of yourself. And as you understand that, and more, you'll realize that there's more possible extraordinary experiences in your soul's memory than the limited bullshit of this 3D society that's saying that 5D and getting into 5D and literally walking across through veils and portals into 5D and them saying it's not possible and them creating an egregore of fear with all kinds of weird-ass bullshit in the New Age community, paying massive, and I know they are, I can't prove it, but I know they are, paying massive New Age, quote-unquote, influencers to scare the shit out of you so you don't know what to do on the day you drop your body or even how to fucking manifest a new earth. And because the less of you who can do it, the more of you that are afraid of death, the more of you that don't believe that this is possible in your lifetime, guess what? They've created an egregore in the New Age community that turns its back away from another generation of being able to climb out of the shit show called 3D. Trust me, they're paying some of them. And it's weird how a lot of them are showing all kinds of documents and shit like that, which I just posted one. Hang on for a quick second. Somebody's talking about their anxiety. Hang on, okay? Can you pull a card for me, please? Sweetie, please listen to me, okay? I'm talking about something much more important than what you're going through right now. No offense. I'm sure you're having anxiety, but the whole world is having anxiety, okay? The whole planet is shaking. And if you want to compare yourself to mothers who have just lost their entire family in the Middle East or in Africa. And then ask yourself, is the anxiety you're dealing with as important? Unless you have someone's life on the line, literally their life, then your anxiety can be handled, okay? Because this is not a tarot reading for you. This is a situation where I'm trying to help people figure out how not to be afraid of fucking living, dreaming, manifesting, co-creating, and literally being the co-creators of the new earth. All right? All right, so any other questions that are relevant to what I'm talking about? Any other questions? Now Now, you were saying my anxiety has increased tremendously. It shouldn't increase at all. You should actually relax and relax and relax more. You know what I'm saying? You need to relax. Your anxiety is your monkey mind, my friend, because it's not your soul who's got anxiety. You're relax. Your anxiety is your monkey mind, my friend, because it's not your soul who's got anxiety. Your soul's fucking... Look at some of the guided meditation I have on my channel, okay? They're free, okay? I'm not charging shit. There's no subscription. Go on my channel, on my profile page, look in my playlist under guided meditation, and I invite you to look at... There's 2 videos I put together. One is how to stare into the eyes of your beloved, which is you. The first video is how to prepare. The second video guides you into that gazing into your own eyes, okay? And it's there to help you to literally see who you really are. By eye gazing, when was the last time you eye gazed into a mirror for 9 minutes? How many of you have ever eye gazed into a mirror, into your own eyes, for at least 9 minutes? Hopefully, some of you will raise your hand saying, I've done it. But how many of you have done it? And if you haven't, then this is a perfect example of an exercise that is going to, first of all, help you meet your soul. Because as you do this exercise, the ego that's standing right in front of you, right in front of your gaze, is going to part at around 8 minutes. Make sure you're in a good position to do it, and you'll find that you'll look into the gaze of your soul, and you'll see that your soul is unbelievably calm. Extremely calm. It's your monkey mind that's giving you anxiety, not your soul. So that means that you have to control it. Does that make sense? Any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments? So it looks good. It looks like many of us are going to win. And some of us will... I'm going to be blunt. There's some of us that are dropping our bodies to get there. And some of us, and younger, much younger, are going to see it through. And if you've noticed some of these kids being born in they're under 27 or under 30, they are, a lot of these, they're badasses. You still have the I don't know, I guess a lot of kids are kind of like stuck, brainwashed, controlled by fear, or whatever the hell. But there are a lot of wonderful under 30 starseeds being born. They came back. Maybe they died in the 1950s. Did you ever think of that? They died in the 1980s. And they've returned to right the wrongs. Did you ever think that? Because I think about it all the time. Because some of these kids are so fucking brilliant. There's one kid, I forgot his name because it's kind of, and you might have seen it. He's got red hair, kind of red hair. Like you would call him a ginger. He's British. And he is translating ancient Greek, ancient Egyptian, ancient Latin, Aramaic. And he goes into these people come in who are Greek, telling him he can't pronounce ancient Greek. Do you know how stupid that sounds like? It's like me speaking in French in Paris, which is Parisian French, and telling a man who is articulating 17th century, 18th century French that he can't pronounce it correctly because he's not sounding like Parisian French today. That's how stupid that sounds. Because Parisian French is not the French of the 18th century, much less the 15th century. It's a completely fucking different language. And so you've got that kid. You've got another kid who's actually influenced me in how I have my breakfast. She's an amazing, wonderful, quirky, goth-like, cool personality. You've got another girl who's got blonde hair, blue eyes, who is a ex worker, okay? And these are all, my son is another interesting, irreverent, in-your-face type of guy, but also very loving. So I've just described 4 different, incredibly different personalities that are showing up on the world stage, creating content, diametrically opposed from each other, but energetically beautiful in their irreverence, in their joy, in recapturing, in maybe reformulating new ideas they were never allowed to share when they were born in the 1920s, 1820s, 1720s. I don't know, right? But they're back. Just like we came back. So try to see things and your reality from a completely fucking absolutely foreign perception. Like put on new glasses, green glasses, blue glasses, pink glasses. See things from a different point of view, from massive compassion for yourself, from incredible respect for what you've gone through in all your incarnations, for your desire to remember who you are and where you came from and what is your goal. And your goal, the best thing you can do in this timeline is to completely and utterly learn how to master your monkey mind. Because once you do that, you're no longer the problem of aiding and abetting the 1% in creating their egregores of fear, confusion, discontent, rage, and on and on. You now become the solution to the egregore, and you're adding your name on the list of people like me, Andromeda Flame, Water Bear Medicine, and other people like that, Feeling Studio Tarot, that kind of thing, right? And you're bringing, you're joining the ranks of us working on opening the portals of 5D for ourselves, our generation, other people who will come in. And when I say our generation, I mean we are helping whatever lineage we've taken on in this incarnation. We're going to help that lineage, right? Obviously, because we're part of it. But it's we're temporary custodians of these bloodlines. Temporary. And we can't align like when people say, well, I've done my lineage. Well, I've got a lineage too I could talk about, but I don't talk about it too often. But it's fucking temporary. It's not the bloodline that interests me. It's my soul's lineage. What does that mean? Where have I been? Where have I been? Who was I? Why did I fall into 3D and then get trapped in the hamster wheel of amnesia for thousands of fucking millions of incarnations? Why? What happened? Did I think it was going to be temporary? Well, through my Akashic readings that I've been doing for clients, yes. For some of them, they thought it was temporary. For some, they fell. They fucked up. For some, they went, yeah, I know. It's going to be a while, but I'll get back. I always get back. It's like, irreverence. Just, yeah, it's an adventure. I want it, So it's interesting. It's fascinating. Yeah, all we need is love and the world will be as one bumpy ride to get there. Well, I mean, everything has always been a bumpy ride. I am a Lyran starseed. But okay, let me also break this down for all of you, okay? You haven't just been a Lyran or an Andromedan or a whatever fuck, do you understand? We've been all these things. We were in hive incarnations in high dimensions. Like I remember doing an Akashic. Hang on, no, because I've had an Akashic as well, a couple of that. It was a hypnotherapy session where she was in the 23rd dimension, and they had a hive mentality. They had different. I'm going to give you an example. Imagine 7 bodies, 7 individual people or sentient beings, all with one thought rippling through their hive mentality. Okay? And what's interesting is that I think and this is something I've been kind of kicking around at myself, is we started falling to experience things individually to co-create our own self-realization, our own thoughts from the source of our creation, and move right back up, if you will, into higher dimensions, with the ability no longer to be in that kind of hive mentality, but a mentality of telepathy, of individualism, of co-creation, of partnerships that were not based or limited thereof of the ego, but rather fluid into co-create. In other words, Do you understand 2 hands are better than 1? If there's a hive mentality and one thought is one thought, it's not as brilliant as 7 sentient beings with all these different thoughts and images from past experience of these, these incarnations we've had to co-create solutions that are mind-blowing, because now it's coming from my perceptions and this perceptions and that perceptions, and now we're co-creating something beautiful, egoless, pure. It's a different type of consciousness. Does that make sense? But now we're back in 17 dimensions, 23rd dimensions, and no longer the only one mind. We now have 7 minds, but we work in partnerships with each other. And that to me is where we're going. So it's almost like many of us felt, because we were like, this is fucking boring. Like, what the fuck? Like, give me something else, right? Like, I can't do this. I'm not joking. When I say that, I'm actually not being funny. I'm being literal. So some people started going, ascension beings rather, started going down the dimensions and going through various portals. And I mean that, literally portals, and incarnating into different sentient beings in different physical forms, and to experience themselves. And the first time they took form, and what dimension, what planet, what reality, where, and why, and how did that look? And was it lonely? Was it good? From doing hypnotherapy to the Akashic readings that I do, I've gotten feedbacks from clients telling me the most extraordinary things on their own journey to past lives on other planets. And some of them, they were lonely. They were the lone wolf, the outcast. They had different duties. They had chosen purposely not to be part of the collective anymore, because they didn't want to be part of the collective anymore. They were done with that. They needed to be in their own thoughts, but they needed to be in some level of service, if you will, to the collective group. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Like, for example, one particular client in a past life memory was on a planet that was very icy, and they all lived in the bottom earth, and they had groups of sentient beings, and they would have what he called cluster intimacy clusters. And he wanted no part of that. He was up on the top of the, outside the caves, and he would go out and hunt for sustenance for them. And he preferred being a lone wolf. He preferred that away from the intimacy cluster, which he was not participating in. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It was you can't make this shit up, especially going as fast as I am. The way I'm talking, he was talking that fast. You can't make the shit up. There's been all kinds of planets. So it's very easy to say I was Lyran. I was Andromedan. I was Syrian. I was. It's funny how people don't say I was a gray. I was a reptilian. I had a client who was a reptilian. 6'4". I've mentioned it before. Muscular and scaly. Okay? But we have been Venetians. Many of us will return to that planet. Like I said. And names we can't remember. There's an amazing French artist, writer, author, whatever. I've mentioned her before. She's written the Encyclopedia Galactica. I think her name is Elena Dannon. That's what it is. Elena Dannon. And she's written, this book's amazing, volume 1, of all the races. Guess what? I saw one of my races, one of my original incarnations. I couldn't fucking believe it. I swear to God, could not believe it. But there are races she may not be able to catalog. You see? So we haven't been just, when people say things like Arcturian, it's like, okay, well, you were Arcturian, but then what were you before that? No, I've only been Arcturian. It's kind of like saying I've only been Irish. You see what I mean by that? Doesn't make sense, does it? I've only been Irish? Really, in all your incarnations, you've always been Irish? No, yeah, well, my friend's always been Italian. Oh, okay, gotcha. See what I'm saying? Don't do that. Because then you limit yourself to only that story. And now you're still looping in bullshit. Because that's bullshit. Because if you were a reptilian, you need to find out what the fuck happened. If you were a Syrian, you need to know, well, okay, so I was a Syrian and then I died, and then I went into a past life as a Lyran. Then from Lyran, I was an Andromedan. I wanted to be part of the group that was fighting the reptilians, Anunnaki, whatever, whoever, right? The grays, the other forces, the negatives. Who knows, right? It's all there. But the minute we hold on, like that's why you don't hear me telling you of any one race. I mean, except for Pleiades, yeah, okay, Pleiades, but I also know Syrian, yeah, okay, and Arcturian, yeah, I could see that. And what I'm trying to find for myself, and this may help you or not, I don't know, is that I'm not so much looking at how many other past lives I had on other planets. I know, and I keep locking and loading to one particular connection, probably because I'm also returning to that connection, to be honest. So to be fair, if you are very connected to Andromedan, there might be a point where when you drop your body, you return to your tribe. Well done. You're back. Oh yeah, fucking 2,000 fucking incarnations. Yeah. We've been waiting. So it could be that you've been on a mission and you're going back to your clan, but with the understanding that you've been in all these other planets and you've been all of these other breeds, species, whatever you want to call it. And why is this important? Because it doesn't limit you into one expectation. It expands you massively across the infinity of our realities. And we have multiple, not to mention we have concurrent incarnations going on. Have you heard of the concept that many of us get up, we go to sleep for 8 hours and we're fucking waking up exhausted as fuck? Like somebody beat me. I feel like I've been drinking, or I feel like I've been fucking running through, like I did a marathon. Like seriously, like I've been doing sprints up a hill. And now I wake up, my body feels like it's been beaten. And it's because we are traveling. We are having concurrent incarnations. We are probably having concurrent incarnations on another planet. Hence a link to being Lyran, Andromedan, or so on and so forth, right? And so I get it. But we constantly have to refuse our monkey mind to limit us to one story. That's my point. It could be that your story is correct, but you still want to expand out of it. And I am, personally me, I am connected to certain stories because they're soothing to me. Does that mean it's like a pacifier? It's like a spiritual pacifier. Oh, I was that. Oh, it makes me feel good because, oh, thank God I can go back and see my people when this shit is finally over. Like, you don't think all of us want to go home? We all want to fucking go home. Trust me. The difference between us and people who are massively depressed is that we know we have a purpose and we trust the timing of us dropping our bodies. That's the difference. We all want to go home, though. There's no argument. But the nectar of remembering a particular incarnation as a starseed or a sense of community with a certain species is the nectar or the pacifier that many of us need. I get it. But try to expand that. You know what I mean? Like it's like a balloon that you blow air into. You know, it's a small little balloon. There's no air, but that's your reality. And you blow it up and it expands and eventually pops into... there is no limits. And I think it's important for us to get to it because some of these, like some of the Akashics that I've done with clients, the way they looked, it was, it might not be in alignment with your humanoid palette. Is the way, you know what I mean? You might not think, oh, well, that's beautiful. You might not think it is a beautiful, but yet it is in its own way. And I do feel like many of us, and I have to say this, do feel aligned with humanoid incarnations or humanoid type of incarnations on other planets. But I do feel like we do have the avians that are, the way they're shown is very humanoid. And then you've got the Lyrans that are very feline in their, looks, of course. But we're not asking ourselves if we've been grays. And a lot of people decide to demonize grays and other tall grays, because there's tall grays as well, as you probably know. And the reptilian, I remember doing an Akashic with this client, and I had to deliver the message that not only had he'd been a reptilian, and I've talked about it in enough lives that I'm not going to report it to you, because it was a mind-blowing past life, but it was an important past life for him to see his shadows. And that he had massively evolved from that. That was a massive ascension moment with him. But I think we need to ask ourselves certain things. When I did an Akashic reading on myself, to be honest, there were certain things that were very dark from ancient times, very, very dark. And I was like, fuck, why? Well, it's because it could be an unconscious ball and chain around my ankle. And so for me to face my darkest shadows would be my release. You can't purge what you don't know to purge. You can't heal what you don't know to heal. So first you got to see it, right? You got to see the bullshit for what it is. And then you got to go, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do what I got to do to release it, purge it, and recalibrate from that. Anyway, that's my opinion. Thank you, love. Thank you, Jackie. That was my mother's name. I'm reading this. Okay. Any questions or comments? Feel free to. What are your thoughts as to why it's important for you to move on? And to literally, it's almost like you know how you breathe in and out and your lungs expand and collapse and expand and collapse? That's how you need to see yourself. And then, when you take deep, long inhalations and long sighs and release of exhalations of breath, that's how you need to expand on your ideas of where you came from. And ask. And yes, some could be corrupted downloads. So again, on my playlist is guided meditation and mantras for, there's a lot, but there's mantras for abundance. I think under mantras or guided meditation, they're the how to open the four corners and above and below organically, not in the shamanic way, not in the classical way, but in a more organic, fluid way for you. And when you are going to travel, when I do Akashic readings or even hypnotherapy sessions, I fucking sage myself and I open the four corners above and below to close space. So that when I sit into a meditation to do, for example, the Akashic readings or to help someone travel in their hypnotherapy, my space is clear, cleaned, and neutralized so nothing else can influence the journey, right? Or the downloads if I do the Akashic readings for clients. And so that I know it's not corrupted. Every time I've gotten a corrupted download in a meditation, I have not done the four corners above and below. It's what they use, shamans use when you're going to take sacred plant medicine. They close the space. So nothing weird, malevolent, Ouija board bullshit's going to walk into your space. Does that make sense? And so that is why I do it. And I'm not as diligent for myself personally. I'm going to be blunt. But I'm getting back into being very diligent. Like if I know I'm going to do a very long meditation, I do the four corners above and below. There was a time when I did it every fucking morning. And I did it every fucking morning for like 4 or 5 years. Every morning. Without fail. And, and I've been like riding the waves of that. Because you ride the waves of these kinds of intentional energy clearing. And then eventually you go, oh shit, I got to get back on that, platform and continue because it's getting diluted now. The waves are, not as powerful anymore. All right. So any questions? We're going to do one more reading to see if we are going to be okay in our journeys. And this is going to be for you who are listening right now and for you who are attracted to this recording on YouTube. This is for you as well. So if you're listening to this, there's no timeline. I don't care if you listen to this in 3 years. This is for you. This is your message, okay? So are they going to be okay? Are they going to be okay moving forward for the next? Three of Pentacles is mastery. You can't make this shit up. Mastery into the Page of Cups, loving messages, into the Ace of Swords, truth. So you're going into a place of self-mastery. You're getting messages of love that are based on truth. You can't make this shit up. I mean, what are the challenges that they're going to have? Tell me more. 17, healing star energy, interplanetary celebration, reunion with your beings. You're going to meet your star seed brothers and sisters on this planet, and you're also going to meet them in your meditations and your travels within. Okay? That's what I see here. Tell me more, please. Tell me more. 5 of Wands means don't let outside distractions and bullshit fuck you up. Just don't. Just don't do it. Okay? Because it will fuck you up. Don't let people fuck you up with their dramas and bullshit. Make sure to invest in the right dramas. Try to minimize drama at all costs, but, don't turn your back on a good friend that has been there for you. Make sure you're there for them as well, but don't take on too much shit that throws you off your track. Tell me more, please. What else is happening? I feel like the Hangman is here. The Hangman is to see things from a different perspective. The Devil is actually, hang on. Yeah, it's the Devil. So here's the thing. As long as you stay in your lane, you're good. The distractions will fuck you up. And then suddenly you'll stop your flow. Hangman. It won't be bad, but it's going to be, it's going to make you see things from different angles. Because you'll come from a place of fear because your mojo's been thrown off. Death is transformation. It's very unpleasant. Scorpio energy. Into Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is betrayal. Are they going to be able to get out of this bullshit? Queen of Cups is loving energy. The world is a new cycle. Into justice, balancing the right. And, righting the wrongs. Anything else they need to understand about their journey. Anything they need to understand about this journey. 6 of Pentacles, balance your give and take. Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings. 3 of Wands, the portals will open. So some of you will falter. It's almost like you're balancing 3 plates, and then somebody calls your name from behind, you get distracted, and the plates fall to the ground. And you got to start all over again. Don't do that. Concentrate, stay focused, and aligned. When you are going to tear yourself away from your alignment, do it consciously. Say, look, if you have to answer 3-4 hours later on a text that's dramatic or something that's throwing you off, answer it when you are aware and conscious that now I have the space in my head to give attention to this without it throwing me completely off. Don't just do squirrel. Don't just go, oh my God, yes, let me, oh my God, my twin needs me, or my man needs me, or my woman needs me, or you just fucking chill out and do what you got to do. Finish what you got to do, and you'll be fine. If you don't, it's going to throw you off, create some chaos, but you'll get back on your feet. Tell me more. Anything else they need to know in this journey? The Hangman, the Ace of Cups, the 6 of Wands. Fucking awesome. So now the Hangman comes in and says, now we want you to see things from various other angles, from 5D angles, 7D angles, 3D angles, 2D angles. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're summing up various levels of realities. Ace of Cups is coming across the ocean. It's a brand new love. It's co-creation. It's whatever you want it to be. Come from a place of love, forgiveness, generosity for yourself and others. And if you can't give generosity, forgiveness, compassion. Into the 6 of Wands. Here we go again with the 6 of Wands, which is, I've won these battles. I have battle, you might not even have battle scars, come to think of it, actually. One battle at a time. I just took the battles on. I just did it. The battles were with my monkey mind. The battles were with my job. The battles were with my friends, family, and lover. the battles were with just the world, leaders and structures and infrastructures and limitations and so forth. I won the fucking war. That's what it means. 6 of Wands. I won. Anything else? And anything else? Into 10 of Cups. You can't make this shit up. Like today, I'm sorry, I don't have the cards in front of me so you can see, but trust me, 10 of fucking Cups. 10 of Cups means I made it. Emotional fulfillment, community, family, long-lasting relationship, marriage. I'm emotionally complete. Beautiful reading. And this is for you. You on this live and you listening to the recording. And I don't care if you listen in 10 years. It's for you. I rarely do this. I rarely say that, by the way. Rarely. You'll never hear me say that. Watch my other videos on Sacred Intimacy Tarot on YouTube. You won't hear it. But I'm being told I need to tell you that, so that you can hold on to that. It's normal to fall and bruise and bloody your knees. We have all done that. Yeshua did it. Buddha did it. The greats have done that. Bloodied knees. Bloodied knuckles. Hunger. Confusion. Like flashes of confusion and resettling down with the breath. Resettling, restructuring the thought patterns, or smashing them with the fire breathing, which I call the train, or other pranayama techniques to restructure how you feel in your body. The most challenging thing for starseeds is to feel being in their body. It doesn't create the dynamic that you think in being in your body. What it does when you're in your body is it gives you a sense of safety. It doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck in this incarnation or incarnations in the human experience forever. It just means that while you're in this body, you are going to use it to its fullest. To understand yourself, remembering yourself, reprogramming yourself, and helping as many people as you can. And unfortunately, you have to be in this body to do it. To open people up to such a level that when you die, you're no longer here. You would have been, you, me, other people like us, would have opened so many people up that they could actually go into the meditation and getting all the nectar of knowledge without so many people having to incarnate to be in those bodies to reach people out through books, talks, fucking retreats, shit like that. They'll be able to sit in meditation and connect and part the veils and talk to you or talk to their guides like I'm talking to you. Through voice, images, telepathy, whatever, however. And that's why some of us have to take sacred medicine to part the veils of our monkey mind's coercive, successful ability to brainwash us for thousands of incarnations into thinking that none of the things, downloads we were getting or was logical. Think Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is I always bring her up because she's the perfect example of the most insane, non-logical situation. A little girl is getting fucking, God speaking to her. You must save France from the English. Holy shit. And she was able to marshal armies to behind her. Watch the Joan of Arc, but with Luc Besson. He directed that's a good version of Joan of Arc. Watch that one. With Luc Besson, a French director who did The Fifth Element. He did a lot of other movies. The Big Blue. He's an incredible director. He did The Professional. I mean, I could go on and on and on. The guy's brilliant. And watch that one, because that will give you a sense of how fucking illogical, impossible, that could never happen, And that is smashed into the ground by that little girl's ability to do everything I just said was not possible. So there's that example. And don't forget the lockdown. I can never say too much. The lockdown taught us, this is what my takeaway from the lockdown was this. In 3 weeks, they marshaled a complete shutdown of the entire planet. There were a few countries that did not have to go through that, one of them being Africa. Continents, I should say. But the rest of the world, I'm sure there were parts of Africa, certain countries in Africa where they, played that game, but like moving deck chairs on the Titanic type of shit. But most of the world was shut down in 3 weeks. And if anyone had told you in 2018 that this was going to happen, or 2019, you would have said, it's impossible. It's not even logical. It'll never happen. No one would who would do that? Oh, well, there you go. Well, now you have the answers. You know a lot of people who did it. So the impossible is possible. That should be your fucking mantra. The impossible is possible. I always land on my feet. I always get what I want. I always win. Is all of it always going to be true? No, because there's no such thing as always. However, when you fail, which you will, you say thank you to the universe. Thank you. I know something better is coming. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I get it. Or I may not get it, but I know and I trust you. And those ways of communicating to the universe will actually bring you to such bliss, such joy, that you will sometimes surprise the new being that is emerging out of the old self of you. And you may realize that you will lose quote unquote people, friends, family, because now you're different. Now you can't be manipulated, owned, beaten down, bullied, whatever. And though they won't say that's what they've been doing all along, they won't be able to do it, not because you're an asshole, but because you're in your light. And when you're in your light, you're untouchable. And when you're untouchable, it pisses people off who are in the dark. And you have to be willing to understand that they are your uncle, mother, father, trainer, lover, child, even child, yes, in this incarnation. And you have to make sure that you are in alignment with the soul contracts you have with these individuals. But that doesn't mean that you give up your ascension direction for anyone. Ascension is the best thing you can do for the people you love in the lineage you embody today. Whether they know it or not is none of your concern. Your concern, your business, is to move forward in your ascension, to aid in your lineage that will impact your children, grandchildren, mother, father. It will burn negative and the positive karma that keeps you here, them here, looped here. You will have the wisdom to tell them or help them on how to drop their body, whether you are by their bedside or you get the call a day later, a week later that they're gone. You can still light a white candle and talk to them and go, keep going, Mom. You're doing great. Keep going, Dad. You got this. You've done it before. I'm so proud of you. Don't fucking come back here. Don't come back. Beam with love, Mom. Feel the love, Mom. Don't come back here. You don't deserve 3D. Don't come back here. Keep going. Keep going. And you'll be able to become a death doula, a high priestess to such power that when it is your turn, you will be able to show up for yourself effortlessly. Don't turn your back on toxic family members because they voted for people you didn't agree, because they took the vac, because they drank the Kool-Aid. If you're going to turn your back on a family member, make sure it was because they were beating you up, putting you in your closet, and fucking your mind up, and literally abusing you. But if you were having the normal fights, power struggles, golden child, what is it called? Golden child, black sheep, just understand that there might have, and you will understand, trust me, you will. You might have had a narcissistic mother, a narcissistic father, being triangulated, gaslit. Sit with that and ask yourself why. Not because it's your fault, but because you need to know why your vibration was a match to that fuckery and how you were able to overcome it, and forgive them. Absolutely forgive them. Even if it means getting on a plane to see them, to kiss them on the forehead, to kiss them goodbye, and them, and you saying, I love you, and I forgive you, and I forgive myself. It is the most important thing you can do on this journey. And hopefully you will gift this to yourself. And as you meditate and as you do these kinds of beautiful energy work, you will surprise yourself with how much fuckery you can forgive. And that is your power. No one can take that away from you. That is your power. And so right now we need to forgive the political atmosphere that is creating the egregore of fear to keep us from everything I've said in this 90 minutes. And that means we have to forgive. We need to forgive every single thing that triggers us, the unfairness and injustice, and really understand how we've been manipulated so brilliantly for so many incarnations, and that we no longer consent, and that we're breaking a soul contract with the collective in the 3D vibration, and that we now create a new soul contract with 5D, within ourselves, within all those we love, those we have not seen, those on the other side of the veils that you don't remember. I don't mean your mom and grandpa that died. I'm talking about sentient beings who you've had multiple incarnations with, but not in this incarnation, not ever. And they're on the other side of the veils. And so you want to create contracts in alignment with the people, sentient beings, light beings on the other side of the veils. There are some that you really adore on this side of the planet. And honoring that and writing a new contract with the universe, which we did. Andromeda Flame and I did in I believe it was, I think it was in 2023 or 2024. I forgot. No, it was 2024. It would have been April or May, I believe. You can actually go on my YouTube and look, and what you'd be looking for is Satya Yuga. Not Kali Yuga, because we were like rejecting Kali Yuga. We're like, fuck Kali Yuga. Because timelines, right? Oh, it's another 45,000 years. I'm like, if time is not linear and time is the collective consciousness of agreement, then all of that is bullshit. So we can actually create our reality and say, yeah, we're not in Kali Yuga, we're in Satya Yuga, the golden age, the age of Aquarius. And that's what we did. So you can actually look for that. I'm still working on a lot of these videos on YouTube to playlist them so you guys can easily find them. But I'll go ahead, having mentioned this, I'll see if I can put it under guided meditation so you guys can check it out and listen to it and do your own ceremony on breaking your soul contract with the universe, with 3D, and everything it entails, and then rewrite a brand new contract. We did that. So I invite you to consider doing that. That would be very empowering. Okay? All right, my loves, I'm going to let you go. My throat is going now. I have a meditation to do. 369. We got shit to do. All right? Thank you so much for the love. All right. Much love on your journey. I'll upload this on YouTube. It's probably going to take a while because this was over 90 minutes, almost 2 hours. So, all right. Namaste. Be well. Take care.